Hello civil engineers, welcome back to the lecture. So here we'll try to see how to take care of the column part. Okay. Now in this particular drawing, they have just mentioned the footing here and they have shown a column here, but haven't mentioned the column name there. But they have given one more drawing where only the column is shown. Now what you need to do, you need to take two separate drawings and then you need to check on which footing which column is coming. So what I've done, I've taken a screenshot of this and also I've taken a screenshot of this and then I'll put it here. Okay, I'll show that. I'll put it here, right? This is my footing screenshot and this is my column screenshot. Now I can directly write no, on F1 footing. This is a column. I'll write C1 here. Okay. Shall I write in front of you? I'll write C1 here. Done. Okay. Yeah, this is C1. Okay. On F1 footing, this is C1 column. Okay. Then on C2 again on F2 footing, this is C2 column. Okay. We'll quickly write all these things. Already I've written it here. See, I'll show you one more picture. See, already I've written all those things. Okay. I'll be attaching this also. Else you can do it because I'll not spoon feed you everything. You need to try to work out on these things so that you get a hands-on experience. Okay. So on F1 footing, C1. See, it's very simple. I'll tell you how it has to be done. Whatever column you have, no, just write on the footing. That's it. F1, no, write C1. This is second, you write it here. This C2, you write here. This C1, you write here. This C2, you write on this footing. This C3, you write on this footing. This C4, you write on this footing. This C3, you write on this footing. C1, you write on this footing. In this way, I've done it. I've written it in this way. Now it's easy, no? Everything is written. Now you need to write this in the Excel sheet. So you count on F1 footing how many columns are coming. This is F1 footing. On this C1 column is coming. This is also F1 footing. Here also C1 column is coming. Then again, where is F1 footing? This is also F1 footing. C1 column is coming. Again, this is F1 footing. C1 column is coming. Again, this is F1 footing. C1 column is coming. Again, F1 footing. C1 column is coming. That means on all the F1 footing, C1 column is coming. So what I'll write here, I'll go to the Excel sheet now. Yeah, this is the Excel sheet. Yeah, I'll take it out. Okay. I'll take out all these things. I'll write here C1 column on F1 footing. See, always remember when you do this column part, no, you should take footing as your base. Okay, that means F1 footing is a base. On F1 footing, how many C1, C2 columns are coming, that you need to take care of. How many C1 columns are there? We'll write it later. Okay, fine. Now F1 is done. Now we'll go to the second part. Now I'll try to check for the F2 footing. So this is my F2 footing. On this C2 column is coming. This is also F2 footing. C2 column is coming. Again, you check if there is any other F2 footing. No F2 footing here. No F2 footing here. And there is another F2 footing here. But here also C2 column is coming. Here also we have another F2 footing where C2 column is coming. Here also we have another F2 footing. C2 column is coming. That means what I'm going to write now? Exactly. C2 column. C2 column. C2 column on F2 footing. Okay. You should also mention the column size here. We'll do that later. No problem. Because we don't have much columns here. Okay. Done. Now again, we'll go to the third part. Now we'll search for F3 footing. So next we'll search for F3. Okay. F3 footing is here. On this we have C3 column. Yeah. Now you see here we have F3 footing, but here we have C4 column. On one F3 footing we have C3 column and one F3 footing we have C4 column. Now we need to write two times. Okay. First we'll try to check on F3 footing how many C3 columns are there. F3 footing, one C3 column. Then again your F3 footing, C3 column. On F3 footing, C3 column is there. And F3 footing, C3 column is there. So that means 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now I'll write C3, C3 column on F3 footing. Okay. One thing is done. Still my F3 footing is not done. Still I have that. See, F3, F3, this F3 part I did, this F3 part. Again I have F3 here. So on this F3 we have C4 column. On this F3 we have C4 column. So now what I'll write? I'll write C3 column, C3 column on exactly F3 footing. Okay. Wait, not it is not C3 column. The column name should change now because this is, yeah, C4 column. Yeah. Mention this as C4 column. C4 column on F3 footing. Got it? Now after this, F1 is done, F2 footing is done, F3 footing is done. Now check for F4 footing. No F4 footing here. See, one F4 footing is there. On that we have C2 column. Again we have F4 footing. No. We have another F4 footing here. C2 column is there. Then no more F4 footing. Another F4 footing is here. C2 column is there. Another F4 footing. No more F4 footing. No more F4 footing. That means 1, 2, and 3. So that means which column is that? C2 column on F4 footing. So I'll write here C2 C2 column on F4 F4 footing. Okay, done. After that, so F4 is done. Next, we'll search for F5 footing. So again, F3, this is F5, right? So on this F5, which column is there? C3 column is there. Again, F5 we have. Yeah, we don't have any other F5. Here there is an, yeah. So this is F5 here. On this we have C3, and then there is no more F5, right? So there is no more. Yeah, another F5 is here. So we have C3 column on that, and then there is no more F5, I guess. Yeah. So we'll write C3 column on F5 footing. So we'll write here C3 column on F5 footing. Okay. Can make this as F5. Fine. So I think F1, F2, F3, F4, F5 is done. Is there anything left? No. Only F5 footing was there, right? Yeah. How many footings were there? F5. Everything is done. Done. So this shuttering work, so it will be in square meter only. This will take it out. Now we need to count the numbers. Okay. That we could have done parallelly, but not an issue. First, we'll count how many C1 columns are there on F1 footing. On F1 footing, how many C1 columns are there? Okay. C1 column on F1 footing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll write 6 here. 6 number. Next, C2 column on F2 footing. C2 column on F2 footing 1. C2 column on F2 footing 2. Then C2 column on F2 footing 3. C2 column on F2 footing 4 and 5. So we'll write 5 here. Okay. Done. Next, C3 column on F3 footing. C3 on F3. So C3 on F3. So F3 we have here C3 1. Then again C3 F3 2. C3 F3 3. C3 F3 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we'll write here 4. Okay. Yeah. Now we'll search for C4 column on F3 footing again. Okay. C4 column on F3 footing. So this is one C4, second C4 on F3. So only two are there. We will write directly 2 here. Okay. Fine. Now C2 column on F4 footing. C2 column on F4 footing. So C2 on F4. So this is C2 on F4 1. C2 on F4 2. C2 on F4 is 3. Yeah. So 3 are there, right? C2 on F4 1. C2 on F4 2. C2 on F4 3. So 3 are there. Yeah. We could have done this in the initial stage also, but it's okay, no problem. Okay. Next, last one is C3 column on F5 footing. C3 on F5. So C3 on F5, 1. C3 on F5 is 1. And C3 on F5 is 2. Okay. 1 and 2. So there are 2. So now we count how many footings we have got. 22 footings. I mean, 22 columns we should get. That should match the footing number. And obviously it will match. Okay. We'll count it still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Exactly. So 22 we have got. So 22 footings have come. Now coming to the perimeter part. Perimeter you can do it very simple. For that I require the column size like C1, C2, C3, 4 and C5 column, right? I think yeah, columns are only up to C4. I'll go back to the drawing. So for that, where you have to go, this drawing is already provided. You see here, okay? Already I've given this column. See, wait, let me come here. I'll check the column part. Yeah, see here, those things are given, okay? Actually, they should have given it in the table, but not an issue. They are given it in this way. You can see it here. So this is C1 column. The size is 450 by 450. C2 column 450 by 450. C3 column 450 by 450. C4 column 450 by 450. Right? So all the columns are 450 by 450. The same thing is mentioned here also. In this particular table, this table you can see 450 by 450, 450 by 450, 450 by 450, 450 by 450. So it's very simple. Our calculation will be very simple now. I'll just write equal to sign 0.45 into 4 side. Okay, done. So my perimeter is done. 0.45, 0.45, 0.45 and 0.45. I'll just drag it everywhere. Okay, done. All columns C1, C2, C3, C4, C2, C3. Okay, done. Now any of this part will now come into the height of your column. Shuttering work, you have to go back to the drawing. See again, remember this shuttering, whatever we are going to do now, the shuttering will do till the top of the plinth beam, isn't it? I told you, you have to take it up to the top of the plinth beam. See, this is your ground level. You can even take up to the bottom of the ground level. I mean, bottom of the plinth beam. But again, then later you need to add this part separately. Instead of that, you take it till the top only. Okay, this is my top. Now again, same thing. We know that from the ground level to the bottom of my foundation, it is 1800. But I require the height from the top of the foundation. That means 1800 minus whatever is the depth of the footing which is coming on that column, that you need to deduct, plus this height, plinth beam height. This is your plinth beam. Okay, so this plinth beam you need to add. The depth of the plinth beam should be added to this height. So how you are going to take care of the plinth beam? Again, for that you have to go back to the plinth beam. Come here, you'll get a plinth beam layout drawing. Okay, you'll get a plinth beam layout drawing. See, this is how that cross section looks. If you don't understand, see here, this was my footing. My column is coming here. Okay. Now, right now, this much part will be able to get this much part. Okay. Now, this is your plinth beam. This plinth beam also I'm going to add now. This much part of the plinth beam I'm going to add it now. Okay. So what I'll do? Yeah. So I'll come here. So this is your plinth beam layout. So it's, can you see it here? Plinth beam layout plan, right? So whatever is the depth, no, that you need to consider. But luckily, here you see everywhere the depth of your plinth beam is 500. This 300 is a width and 500 is a depth of your beam. So 300 is a width, 500 is a depth. So almost all the beams, whatever plinth beam you have, no, you see everywhere the depth is 500. So what we are supposed to do, everywhere we'll add 0.5 to that. That's it. Okay. Everywhere we'll add 0.5 to that. So that is how it works out to be. Okay, so even the cross section also will verify once again. The cross section is also correct. There is no problem, because see, soon after the ground level only your plinth beam is resting. Okay, soon after your ground level, see, this is your ground level. Soon after this ground level, your plinth beam is coming. This is a plinth beam. So this is a plinth beam. Okay, that means whatever is a depth, it is 500, that I'll add. So I'll reach to the top of the plinth beam. But these people have made one small mistake here. See, what mistake is that? In the cross section part, no, this part, they have shown GL here. If they had shown GL here and the plinth beam is coming here, see, this is that plinth beam. Okay, this is a plinth beam and the GL is ending here. So this much portion you can see they have left it blank. That means there should be some height here, but maybe either there is a problem in the cross section or they might have not done it properly, not an issue. Usually wherever is a ground level, no, over that only a plinth beam is going to come. So actually either this ground level should have come here, they should have shown the ground level here, okay, then it would have been correct. But here what has happened, ground level they are showing it here, and the plinth beam cross section they are showing it here, this portion, this much space is empty, right? So we don't know what is the height of this, so either this is wrong or that is wrong. But we'll consider exactly on the ground itself your plinth beam is coming. I'll show you one case for that. For example, just in case if you get confusion, no, I'll tell you. See, so in most of the drawings what will happen, you get all the elevation part and all, okay. Here you can see the elevation is given. This is one more drawing for a different building. I'll show you the elevation part. Yeah, you see here. Yeah, now you'll be able to understand what exactly I'm trying to tell. See, this is a ground level. They've shown the ground level here, and they've shown the plinth beam here. They've shown the plinth beam here. Okay, plinth beam is shown here, and the ground level, I'll do it here. This is my ground level. This is my ground level. And now from the ground level to this much height in the bottom of the plinth beam, these people have done the brickwork. Okay, usually people do that. Usually what people do, they want their plinth to be at a, I mean at a greater height. In that case they do the brickwork, and over the brickwork they'll do this plinth work. Okay, so you can see the brickwork has been done here, isn't it? The brickwork has been done here. How much is the brickwork they have done? They are mentioned here. It is 1 feet 6 inch. 1 feet 6 inch. And what is the depth of your plinth beam? It is 1 feet. Now when I try to add, no, I can add 1 feet 6 inch plus 1 feet. It comes out to be 2 feet 6 inches. From the ground level to the top, this much height, I can take 2 feet 6 inch and I can add it. You're getting my point? For example, let us consider the same situation from the ground level to the bottom of my this thing. What is that? PCC. The height was given, let us say, the same height I'll consider 1800 mm. So in this case, what I would have done, I would have taken this 1800 plus 1 feet 6 inch plus 1 feet I've added to this. So this would have given me the height till the top of the plinth beam. Okay, this should have been a drawing something, but here no problem in the assignment part, whatever I've given, because sometimes in the drawing such problem occurs. You just need to ask to the consultant what exactly you want to do. So he may tell, no, we are going to do a backfilling here, or we are going to do a brickwork here for around 1 feet. 1 feet is 300 mm. Then no problem. You add 300 plus the depth of the plinth beam. Okay, but here we are just considering, because in the cross section, because this cross section what I'm showing you now, if you observe it carefully, see the cross section what it shows, soon after the ground level only they have shown the plinth beam. Okay, they have shown the soon after the ground level your plinth beam is shown here. So that means on the ground itself your plinth beam is happening, so there is no gap. So we are considering the same thing, no problem. I explained you both the things. Okay, only that problem will occur. Just in case if you get some other drawing, just verify with the consultant how much gap you're going to give. That gap you just have to add it. Okay, now I'll consider this 1800 footing depth I'll deduct, and plus this is how much, 500, because depth of plinth beam was 500. So I'll go back to the Excel sheet. These things I'll let me remove it out. I'll do it. This has yeah, I need one more thing here. What is that? I require the depth of F1, F2, F3 footings and all. So quickly I'll take a screenshot of this. This depth I require. This depth I'll keep now. Okay, fine. Now I'll do that. Now this height is 1800. Yeah. So this is 1800 minus this depth I'll do. And for that I'll add 500 mm. Remember that. Okay. So equal to sign 1.8 minus depth of foundation. So this C1 column is resting on F1 footing. So what is the depth of F1 footing? 500. So minus 0.5 plus 0.5 I'll do, because plus y, depth of the plinth beam I'm adding. Okay, fine, done. 1.8 I got. Again, here again same thing, 1.8. Okay, minus, it is resting on F2 footing. What is the depth of F2 footing? It is 600 mm. So minus 0.6 plus 0.5. That is the depth of the plinth beam. Fine. Equal to, again, 1.8 minus it is resting on F3 footing. What is the depth of F3 footing? Again 600. 0.6 minus plus 0.5 depth of plinth beam. Fine. Equal to 1.8 minus, this is resting on again F3 footing. Again F3 footing depth is 600. 0.6 plus yeah, plus 0.5. Yeah. Like again 1.8 minus, this is resting on F4 footing. The depth of F4 footing is 550. 0.55 plus 0.5 is the depth of the plinth beam. I'm adding it. Okay. 1.75. Next last 1.8 minus F5 footing. C3 column is resting on F5 footing, and F5 footing the depth is 600. 0.6 plus 0.5. Done. You got all the heights here. Okay. So you got all the heights here. That is 1.8, 1.7, 1.7, 1.7, 1.75, 1.7. So depth I'll verify once again. Yeah, it is 500. All the depth is 500. Okay, fine. No problem. I think everything I have done, answer will come automatically on its own, since where is the answer? Yeah, this is that answer, no? Yeah, good. 68.67 square meter of a shuttering is required for all these columns. Okay, 22 columns I require 68.67 square meter of the shuttering. Now, similarly, you do the concreting also. Concreting again, same thing. What you are supposed to do, just copy the same thing from here. Okay, I'll just copy the same thing from here. Control C. I'll come here. I'll just paste this Control V. Okay, done. And now this part I need to take it out. When this I need to delete. This also I need to delete. And this part also I'll delete. And this height will remain the same, because wherever shuttering is done, there only your concreting will happen. Now directly enter the size of column. All my column sizes are 450 by 450. Agree with me? It is already mentioned here. See, this is 450 by 450. Even here also you can get 450 by 450. So just your task is very simple. 0.45. Your length of the footing, breadth and depth both are same. 0.45. You got the answer. Just drag it down up to here. Just drag it up to here. That's it. So you require 17.17 cubic meter. So just change this. So this is total concrete quantity. Concrete quantity up to the plinth beam top. Okay, fine. So total concrete quantity also we got. Now how you are going to do the backfilling quantity? Backfilling will be very simple. Quickly I'll tell you how it has to be done. Backfilling. So backfilling will be total excavation quantity. What is my total excavation quantity? So my total excavation quantity is 688 minus, I'll remove which one? Stone soling quantity. Good. Minus, I'll take out the PCC concrete quantity. Good. Minus, I'll take out the footing concrete quantity, and I'll deduct the this part, column concrete quantity. Again, remember column concrete quantity. You remember, right? What mistake we are doing? We're actually taking a, yeah, it comes out to be 588. Yeah. So actually this column concrete quantity we have taken up to the top of the plinth beam. That plinth beam depth, whatever you have, that you need to deduct. I'll not do that. You do it on your own. Very simple. I'll tell you what has to be done. This is not actually the value. I'll tell you the actual value. From here, no, just deduct this deduct this 0.5 from all the table. Else I'll do that. I'll quickly do it for you. I'll Control C here. I'll paste it here. Okay, yeah. From this part, and just take it out. 0.5. Okay, that plinth beam top you have to remove, because backfilling will happen till the ground level only, not till the plinth beam top. Okay, yeah, everything I removed. So this is the actual concrete quantity which you have to consider for the backfilling. So here what I'll do, instead of IJ20, I'll take this part minus this part, and I'll say enter. Done. So your this thing backfilling quantity is 588.12. I'll manually verify this once again, so that will not go wrong. Okay. Total excavation was 688 minus stone ceiling was 36.11 minus PCC was 24.07 minus footing concreting was 40.04 minus last one is concrete quantity. Okay. So this concrete quantity I have to take. Which one? 12.22. 12.22. So I'm getting 575. Okay. Then this is wrong. I'm getting 575.56. Let me do this once again. Okay. 688 minus 36 minus 24 minus footing concrete 40 minus concrete quantity this one. Yeah, 575.90. I'm getting same thing in my calculator. Okay, good. So this is how you're supposed to understand. Again, you apply the thumb rule. We'll see whether my thumb rule will work out or not. 688 is a total quantity. You take 80% of that. That means 688 into 0.80 you do. I'm getting, okay, 0.75 you can do. 0.75. We'll take 0.80 only. Okay. So 688. I'm getting 550. 550 cubic meter is a backfilling. But when we do the calculation, we are getting 575. We are falling short by 25. I mean, it's a rough one. Okay. You cannot, but if somebody asks you, you can say 75 to 80% of that. Okay. I'll do that here also. Equal to 0.8 multiply this by total backfilling. I mean, total excavation quantity. Done. So it comes out to be 550. But while doing the calculation, we got this. Okay. Calculation is always correct. This is just a thumb rule. Okay. This is just a thumb rule for us. Okay. Got it? Yeah. So in this way, you're supposed to do the calculation for this particular building. I've done everything for you. After this, I'll give you another 2-3 different assignments. I'll not do everything now. You understood the concept. You try to do it on your own, but I'll give you a few drawings. I'll give you another project. I'll give you another 2 projects. I'll give you this particular combined footing project. Then I'll give another house project so that you get complete knowledge regarding this. So we'll see you back in the next lecture. Thank you.